I probably spent 15 years in the trying not to be gay groups. So there was a time when I thought I wasn't sure that I'd ever be able to go back to church or that I'd want to. I ended up with moments that I knew that God was speaking to me and telling me it was okay. My name is Gregg Taylor, and I'm a clinical counselor and a manager of mental health programs for a family services agency here in Vancouver. I grew up going into kind of the mainline churches, and then when I left for school and moved away, I kind of drifted. But because of kind of personal issues I hadn't really faced, that were building, I was dealing with addiction issues, alcohol addiction issues, and also with my kind of unrecognized and unresolved homosexual feelings. I had no context for homosexuality growing up. It wasn't the plan for my life. I always thought I'd get married and have kids in the traditional context. And so suddenly coming to realize that I had these other feelings, not knowing what to do with them, not being happy about it, I started drinking with friends. And it wasn't serious at that time, but I remember the first time I had a drink, something in me went, that made that feeling go away. So I was really kind of in a dark place. When I was looking for community, connection, or some support, I went to a church. It was a small local community church, great people, really friendly, and we're part of a denomination that was very conservative theologically. It fed the narrative that being gay was bad and that God didn't want that for me and that there was going to be a different way out of it. That God would provide. In that process, somebody referred me to a program that basically helped people not be gay, and ended up joining that group. And I went through more than one program. I probably spent 15 years in the trying not to be gay groups. But, you can only go so far before you find out, first of all, this isn't working. My attractions and my feelings aren't changing. Second of all, what am I really doing with my life? And third of all, do I feel authentic in anything that I'm saying? So I actually found myself being pushed further from God than getting closer. As I came to terms with myself, I ended up, having a crisis moment. I got really angry at the process, at the people, but I also got angry at God. And I remember that day I yelled out, I hate God. So there was a time when I thought I wasn't sure that I'd ever be able to go back to church or that I'd want to. I realized I hated the God of my understanding. And I knew God was greater than my understanding because I'd had authentic moments of spiritual connection when I was grappling with what to do with my life and about whether to come back to church, whether to believe in God, and whether to come out. And so as part of that journey, I decided to find a spiritual director. I wanted them to help me find quiet times and spaces to be able to hear from God about what to do with my life. I ended up with moments that I knew personally that God was speaking to me, and I get choked up, but that God was speaking to me and telling me it was okay. And, that who I was as a person was okay and was fully acceptable to God, and that God was with me and working through me and wanted to be part of my life. And so, that really connects to St. Andrew-Wesley, because it was out of that I found St. Andrew-Wesley and started to connect to the community here. And really getting to meet the people here was just a continuation of that affirmation, an affirmation of who I was and that I had a place. And you have all these kind of preconceptions, but all I found were genuine people, genuinely seeking a good life, genuinely seeking to experience God and to find ways to do that, and genuinely wrestling with their sexuality, their spirituality, and their identity. And so it was a wonderful experience to be able to go, okay, I feel safe here. You're free to be yourself, and you can be anywhere on your journey that you are, and you'll be accepted for it. There's no preconditions, there's no requirements, and except for honestly seeking, then that's all you really need to be part of the community. And so it's so freeing to know that you can show up as you are, and there is also no agenda, right? That you have to be at a certain place or believe, certain rites or rituals or theologies, but that you can come in questioning about God's grace and acceptance and community and love.